Hello and welcome back to the Almost Private Podcast. I'm your host, Mariah, and today we have a special guest. Hi, Anisa.
Hi, Mariah.
I'm so happy that you're here. You have no idea.
I'm super happy that you have me here. I am so thrilled.
If you all don't know, me and Anisa met probably maybe a year or two ago. Or was
2 years now.
2 years ago?
2 years now, yeah.
And we legit just clicked.
Mm-hmm.
It was literally like love at first sight. Or friendship at first sight. Literally, I think you saw me. It was just hey. And I could be real shy. And I remember just being hey. And we've been friends ever since.
Yep.
We've been friends ever since. So it's been a wonderful friendship. I am so grateful for you. Before we hop into today's episode, I definitely want to do a temperature check. So today we are drinking some tea that I got from Lisbon from a place called Next Memory. And it is a stress relieving tea. I will put what's all in the tea on the notes, in the show notes, and on the screen for you all who are watching via YouTube. Yeah, I'll also try to link the place that I got it. I don't know if they ship, but if they do, you can definitely get it. If not, then maybe you can mix your own tea to kind of make it similar. So I got these really cute cups from...
They're so pretty.
Actually, the Goodwill.
Yes, that's the place.
So delicious. I love this tea. It's kind of got a very earthy flavor to it. I got you some honey if you want to try to sweeten it. I don't really like to sweeten my tea, but it does have an earthy feel, right?
It's very, very wholesome. It's very smooth. Yes. I like it. Yeah. I like earthy tea. And I don't like to add sweetness because I feel it takes away its aroma.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel sweetness is really good for some teas, but not every tea. Not for me anyways. My preference. But so, temperature check. How are you feeling today?
Very good.
Good?
Very good. I can't complain. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Life is going really well. A lot of positivity, a lot of value time, a lot of self-worth and self-love, and kind of giving myself everything I always wanted. It's really good. It's really good.
Listen.
It doesn't take much with me.
No, that's one thing I really admire about you is your ability to always see the positive. We'll be talking about something and I have the tendency to complain.
Really? I'm guilty. I'm guilty too.
And so then I feel even when I'm spiraling, you have such a soft, smooth way of helping me see the positive. And then I'm it's really not that bad.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. It's I love it so much. So today's episode is going to be about the loneliness of growing into your true self. So since I've met you and got to know you and I've learned about your story, I've always just been very inspired by it. And I love to see how far you've come within just the last 2 years, but I know that it's definitely been a growth over 2 years. And so I definitely want to get your perspective on this. And so I've got a question for you. When you think about becoming your true self, what has been the loneliest part of this process for you?
Reminding myself to be patient. And it's really lonely there because it really does take up to us to build that patience. Not a lot of us can remind ourselves about it, that it exists. We can tend to forget that it exists, and in the moment of a turmoil or whatever, or a little hiccup in life, like you said, it's hard to remind ourselves something positive about it, but it is really lonely. It's something that we have to own, and it's that because it makes a huge difference on what we're trying to accomplish and how to get there, and kind of deal with it in the process. But at the end of the day, we have to remind ourselves that we're going to get there, whether it doesn't feel like it at the moment, but it eventually will. And that's something that you can only feel yourself. You can't really ask for company to help you how to overcome this. This is something that really has to resonate only with you, because at the end of the day, you're the one who's going to matter at that meeting goal that you're trying to get to.
That's so insightful to constantly have to remind yourself to be patient with yourself. And I love that you said that you can't invite company because I think that that's a true statement of whenever you're trying to grow into a different version of yourself, you can't really invite company. Not in every part of that process, right? I think there's certain parts of the process that you definitely invite people to have different insights, but there is a large part, I think, that comes with you doing it alone, right?
Yeah.
So whenever you're kind of going through that, or when you were going through that, how did you remind yourself during those times where it felt like maybe very lonely, where you wanted to have someone's opinion or insight? Like, how did you continuously remind yourself that it's something that you needed to do by yourself?
Whenever I would talk to someone about it, I would immediately kind of like see how their point of view really didn't match mine. However, they didn't mean ill intentions or anything, or they weren't being judgmental about it, but that their reality, their version of reality is different than mine. And so I had to kind of like say, that's when I was like, oh, this is about me. This is me. This is not the problem. The problem isn't the problem. I'm making it a problem. So I have to switch it up. And like, it's like I got to boil it up and cook it and like make something out of it. And I'm like, okay, it actually turned out to be something really beautiful that I wasn't seeing be underneath all of that. And it just changes the perspective of everything right there. And then it keeps you focused on what you have to do for yourself. At the end of the day, if you're not kind with yourself in the process, you won't know if that's something worth for you or not. And so life, either it gets you to finish that goal or it'll reroute you to something better. And that's my favorite part, because you're like, this door closed, but the next door opened. And that one actually had a bigger price than the first door.
Price is Right.
The Price is Right.
Did you watch The Price is Right growing up?
I used to, yeah. It was like the symbol of you weren't going to school that day.
Yeah. Don't have too much fun. And my mom be like, turn that TV off. Like, dang, girl. Like, I can't laugh.
Don't you have a book to read? Go get it.
Yeah, like, I'm sick. I just want to watch TV. No, but I love that analogy of like, sometimes you have to be rerouted. And, you know, I think about how where I am now and how I've gone through things, walked through doors where I've actually needed to like back up and out of that, you know, to reroute myself. And it does get a little bit lonely, especially when you're trying to figure out where you want to go in life, who you want to be in this moment.
Right.
And have that patience. It's difficult, but
it's definitely the beauty of life, to be honest with you, because a lot of times when you see someone else that's hurt and dealing with something, or they have to react a certain way that you know you wouldn't, that's when you're like, oh, you know, I would have handled this a different way. And you kind of like want to help that person and like tell them, oh, like, you know, you can do this way. And you see how much that 5-minute conversation has helped them. Is you're reminding yourself simultaneously. It's like you're also telling yourself something. Yeah. And you're also reminding yourself of what you've done and what you've gone through.
It's almost like that people who give really good advice, but they don't take their advice, you know?
I think that's all of us.
So real for that. You're so real for that.
Yeah, we deal with that a lot. Like, I think everybody does deal with that, because sometimes I'm in a situation where someone is telling me something that's going on with them. And I'm like, but you remember the other day when you said this and this about yourself and how you weren't going to be letting this happen to you and that you were strong enough to do it? This is that time to use that strength. And they're like, I remember that. I'm like, yes, you said that yourself.
Listen, y'all. Anisa is a strict friend, okay? Don't you come around her talking about one thing and then come back the next time complaining about something. She gonna remind you with the quickness. I think you told me straight up, like, I don't let my friends down talk themselves around me. I don't allow it. I think that's what makes you so beautiful and such an amazing friend and mom, sister, cousin, all of that, because you do help those around you continuously see themselves, you know? You do. And I think in return, the people around you, like me, just love and adore you. You know, like, you know, I've been over backwards for you because like you're my girl. Your story's so inspiring, and I find you just continuously like helping me become a better woman just by hearing your story and seeing how you operate. And like, you don't just like talk the talk, but you also, from what I see, you like walk it too.
I love you, Mariah. You're like so cool. Every time we talk, even though we don't talk all the time, but when we do, we're like, oh my gosh. Yeah. We're like, yay.
It's like no time has passed.
Yeah.
You know?
It's so refreshing every time.
It's very refreshing. And, you know, I just am naturally like an introverted person. You know this. So, like, you don't ever make me feel any type of way about it.
No.
You know? Because you know I don't mean anything. It's not personal.
No.
You know?
It's your personality. It's like a characteristic of you.
Yeah.
And you have such a beautiful way, even though to like, you can be a little quiet, but when you do talk, it's like you're blooming. So that right there is like, you know, that's what makes people want to like keep talking to you. Like, oh my gosh, you know, because back to when we met, I approached you because I was like, oh, she's so quiet. She was quiet here the last time she was here, but I didn't get to talk to her. Let me go approach her right now. Like, hey, what's up? How are you? How you like the event?
Yes. And then I was just like, it's been good. And I was like, I was so happy that you came up and talked to me, you know, like, because I remember seeing you. And then when you came up and talked to me, that's what I'm saying. It's like, literally, y'all, she just came up and said, hey. And I was like, hey. I think we exchanged numbers like we were dating.
Yeah,
like that. Hey, you want to get my number?
Like, we started talking about places to eat and all that. I was like, yes, you know, we should meet out for this. We should do this.
Yeah, and we did. We got ice cream. We just started doing things. And I feel like your vulnerability is just like, it's so refreshing, and it's amazing to see because I'm not that vulnerable with people, you know? And so I think it took me a while to even be vulnerable with you.
Yeah.
But it was like I felt like I could trust you, you know? And I think going back to like the loneliness of coming into yourself is there were times where I felt like I would overpour into friendships, and then like they would either crash and burn, or they would try to make me feel a certain type of way about myself. Just like a lot of the things. So like a lot of times I just have to like take a step back, you know, and I've taken a step back for a long time, and I pretty much got rid of all my friends. Not all, because I know my best friend watch it, girl, not you. And so then I got rid of a lot of people in my life, you know, and that time was very lonely for me to like to try to understand that not everyone's going to treat me this way. You know? And so just being able to be around you and see how vulnerable you are just from the beginning, you know? And it's not even like a vulnerability of like a naive vulnerability. You're not naive at all. So it's not like that, but it's just a like, I want to get to know you. So I'm going to try to connect with you, you know, and just putting yourself out there. Like I remember you saying like, oh yeah, girl, I'll just put myself out there. I'll just do that. And I'm like, you doing what?
Yes.
How can you? Strong part. I have a hard time with that. Like, I don't know.
Because it's like, for example, my sister's a painter, y'all. She does exhibits right here in West Palm Beach.
Yeah. I'll put her on the screen. You gotta tell me her stuff.
Yeah. And she is, for example, she's like, you know, and I learned this from her, you know, everybody paints. Everybody does art, but nobody does your art. Yeah. No. Oh, it looks like this art looks like so-and-so's. Not really, no, because that original artist you're confusing this artist with does it slightly different. If you notice and compare the two, they're actually not the same. They're probably the same colors and they probably seem similar to you, but that art piece is not the same. Your life, your experiences, that's your art piece. Your experience is yours to own. Your experience can feed somebody else's experience for the future. And the way you carry yourself and the way other people see you is really important. Not because, people got to be in your business. That's not what I mean. I mean, like, I've learned to be who I am because I've looked up to other people.
Oh, I like that.
I didn't learn everything I know. Everything I've been through is my journey alone, but it really is because I looked up to other people.
I love that. Like your life and your story is your art. Yeah, no, that's very beautiful put, like beautifully put, because it's very true, you know? It is very true. Like, I know that my life is vastly different than yours. Like, I feel like we have completely different stories, but the way we've overcome things and our strength has definitely like been an inspiration, like on both ends. So I love that idea. And I feel like within the last like maybe 2-3 years since I've moved to Florida, I've decided to come out of my shell slightly. I feel like I'm getting out of that loneliness, you know, of coming into my true self, because I feel very comfortable with who I am now.
Yeah.
It's taken a while.
And
it's
it
taken
does.
a long time.
Yeah. It's a big task.
It's a huge task, right? Like, so how did you come out of that loneliness of like building yourself and evolving and becoming to blooming? Because I feel like that's where a lot of people get stuck, when you do the inner work and it feels so lonely. And now you feel like you have a good idea of what you are and who you are. And then stepping out of that can be very scary to like you said, bloom. I've gotten this a lot where people are like, oh, I see you. They either think like, I'm real standoffish, I'm mean, I'm all these things. And then they talk to me and they're like, oh my gosh, I just want to keep talking to you. But it's like that blooming that's sometimes a little scary, even for myself. So I'm wondering, how do you do that?
When I focused on my community. Mm-hmm. Sometimes community-based events and things like that, where you actually are surrounded by other people, is very helpful, because when you find that, those are the places where you find what you're good at. But when it comes to like sticking with what I'm good at is what has helped me kind of like enjoy myself and learn and love myself, because I'm like, wow, I can stick with what I like. Mm-hmm. I can still do this. You feel like, oh, I can do anything. Yeah. And you can take those skills and use them at home too. And I think that has helped me for the most part, how to overcome loneliness.
You are so good at these community events. It's unreal, y'all. If y'all ever get a chance to see her speak on a panel, like, she's amazing.
Thank you.
You truly are amazing. And I agree with you on that, you know? And I feel like coming out of that loneliness, I think being in community, like intentionally putting yourself in community, definitely helps. It's trial and error. Mm-hmm. With that, you know? Like, I know I was like, I'm going to help out in community in this way. And I just wasn't good at it. Mm-hmm. Like, if I'm honest, that's why I stepped down. I was like, I'm not going to be good at this. I'm not strong in that. And I had to realize it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. I feel like I recently came to the realization that I now know my strength. Mm-hmm. You know, I think what I'm really good at is connection. Mm-hmm. I think I'm very good at making a connection with people, but I'm very good at making a connection with people one-on-one. Mm-hmm. So I think some people are really good at like connecting with a large amount of people. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to one-on-one connection, they kind of fall flat.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
That's me.
You think that's you?
Mm-hmm. I think I do fall flat when it's a one-on-one.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And with me doing one-on-one, sometimes I'll overshare. And I'm like, why did I just say that? And yeah. I'm like, oh, I don't know. But it could just be me. The other person might have not taken it that way. Yeah. But that's why I say that I think one-on-ones for me is like my downfall.
I was in college. I was on this board for like the American Cancer Society. It was their food and hospitality chair. Mm-hmm. And girl, I was so good at it. I was amazing at it. I loved it. And I loved being able to set up like spaces of people feeling very like comfortable. So I know that I'm really good at that. From there, I recently just had the internal thinking, and, you know, I'm very introspective. And so I had to come to the conclusion that like your connection is enough. I think because I'm sometimes am a little bit more reserved, that I struggle with that, like feeling like it's not that good. But no, it's it's effing amazing, because like like I think I do really well with connecting with people one-on-one. But when I have to connect with like a large amount of people at one time, that's when I struggle, because I feel like I don't know I don't feel like I understand what the connection should be. So like this kind of platform is like really good, because it makes me feel like I'm able to just connect with one person, even though I like wanted to grow and be bigger. Yeah. I feel like it's like good, because I'm like, I feel like it connects with like one person versus having to think about connecting with a large amount of people. I have another question for you. Was there a moment where you realized your loneliness wasn't a punishment, but part of the process? Was there like something that happened that kind of sparked where you're like, this is not a punishment. This is a blessing and it's part of the process?
Yes. There was a time where in my life, at one point where I couldn't find anyone that was available to not be my company, but at least like, oh, let's go do something or whatever. And then I'm like, you know what? Before I call anyone, because I know everybody else is doing their thing today, and finding out if anybody has canceled plans, if they want to end up doing something, let me just do this on my own. And I did something that I always wanted to do. And then if you want to know, it was riding a scooter all over DC. And I went by myself, and it was during COVID. Everyone's home, tucked in. Nobody could talk to each other, so I couldn't find anybody. And I spent 4 hours in a scooter going all over the city. And it was like $30 when I finally paid my thing. And I had ice cream all by myself. And it was perfect. It was really great. And that's when I started saying, okay, well, this isn't so bad.
Yeah.
And I felt grateful that I was able to, give myself that opportunity. Yeah. And that, I think, is the key thing to overcome loneliness, is to recognize what can you do for yourself. That's important.
Yes, it is important.
And it doesn't have to be something material. You know, you're feeding your heart the whole time.
Focus on who you want to become and just continue to create that. Even when things around you are feeling like they're falling apart, you have to keep that. Like, one thing my mom always tells me is, like, sometimes you have to keep the tunnel vision. And that's hard. That's very hard. And so I think if you're in the thick of it, just keeping that vision of who you see yourself as, even if that vision is so faint, don't lose sight of it and keep it going.
And be patient.
Because even though that may be who you want to be or where you want to be, things may change and they may evolve, and you got to be willing to kind of be a little bit more agile, but just don't lose faith in that. I think when you start to lose faith in that and lose sight, that's whenever everything really starts to crumble in, and it's even harder. It's not impossible to still get out, but it is, I think, a little bit harder to get out.
You know how a lot of people always saying, oh, your struggles build you. So does your win.
Hell yeah.
So does your win. And a lot of people got to be a little bit more positive, and it takes practice. It's not overnight.
Yeah, definitely got to be intentional about your community building, especially when you're becoming.
Yeah.
And you're feeling a little bit lonely, because, like you said, just being able to see how people interact and the actions of others, it helps you kind of evolve yourself, to see, okay, I want to be involved in this way. I don't want to be involved in this way. I want to build that sisterhood or that brotherhood or, personhood, whatever it may be for you. And being very intentional about it. I was very intentional about the community that I was going to build for myself here. And I feel very, very good about it. Yeah. All that, like, internal work, it matters. All the internal work, those lonely days that I had internally, they were not for nothing. They weren't. I am so happy that you're on my podcast today. Yeah. You brought such a great energy and insight.
Thank you
and
for
all of
having
that.
me.
Tell the people where they can find you. Tell them about your podcast.
Latinos Muslim Teas. I'm on Instagram. I don't post all the time on podcasts, but when I do, it's always something deep. So tune in. I'm on Spotify as well. And my sister Empress.
It's so good to see you. I love you and adore you. I hope to have you again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll see you in my next one, guys. Bye.